So the Indianapolis Colts can really use the aid of a safety like Justin Simmons or Quandre Diggs. Look, the Indianapolis Colts have some really good pieces on the defense. I have a lot of confidence in the defensive line. That's and kind of the front seven with the linebackers as well, and Zaire Franklin, EJ Speed. Defensive line has a lot of really big time playmakers, but where I start to get a little concerned is when we get into the secondary. I mean, Julius Brent showed some flashes last year. We've seen some injury hiccups with him. So hopefully he's gonna come in and take the next step this year. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to though. I've seen a couple of things last year watching him. I'm just not too sure if he's going to take that next step and be that guy. But I do think Julius Brents does have the opportunity to be an awesome cornerback for us. I think he could. It's just I have a little concerns about Julius Brents. On the other side, you don't even know Jalen Jones, Delys Flowers. I think Jalen Jones might take that spot over there. Slot, don't really have too many concerns with Kenny Moore as long as he stays consistent. Consistency has been Kenny's more issue. Sometimes it's popped up here and there, but I mean, every player has their good and bad games. So my concern is if one cornerback goes down, and even if they're all healthy, on the boundary, we may have quite the issue if Julius Brents doesn't take the next step, if Julius Brents doesn't really take any step that we're looking for, because you really never know. Cornerback is a very difficult position to learn. And on top of that, you're in Gus Bradley's system, very difficult system to learn, a lot of intricacies. It's just not an easy, it's just not the easiest to learn. And really anything in the NFL isn't. But I mean, we really need someone in the back end like a Justin Simmons or a Quandre Diggs. It'd be very wise to go ahead and get someone like that because Julian Blackmon is awesome, but Julian Blackmon changed to strong safety. He's more of a in the box kind of guy, as a sub linebacker, and he is best at that role. He is absolutely incredible in that spot, and he needs to stay there. It just seemed when he went there last year, it was so natural for him. Even when he was at free safety, I had the feeling that he would just be a better strong safety, is more natural. It just seemed like it came to him much better, and he was just so much better in that spot. But, someone on the back end, I mean, who do we really have for the back end? I mean, we have Nick Cross. We've been trying, I mean, the Colts have been trying with him. The first year he played like one game, half a game, quarter, it was something bizarre, and then he never saw the field again. Last year he had some good moments, bad moments. I wasn't too hyped about him. I wasn't too excited about. I mean, I wasn't too impressed by him, to be honest with you. But that is something that we are here to talk about. Justin Simmons, Quandre Diggs, these are guys that are from systems, that are from cover threes, and they have a really good backing. Now they're both a little older. That's without a doubt, but that means that they're going to be affordable, and they're going to be you're going to bring them in. They're going to be able to vet some of these young guys like. Rodney Thomas you have as well. You may maybe help Rodney Thomas take that next step. Nick Cross, maybe see if someone can help coach up Nick Cross. I think Justin Simmons would be incredible for that type of job there. You do have Marcel Dabo, and Trevor Denbo. It's really, even without the injuries, the secondary has their issues, and it's a little worrisome. So we really need someone in the back end. That's my biggest worry for this year, honestly. Like I said, the defensive line is going to be awesome. So hopefully that helps these young guys, that helps these young cornerbacks because, like I said earlier, cornerback is very difficult to learn. And then on top of that, Gus Bradley's system is not easy to learn. So, and then we like multiple safeties. Gus Bradley likes his safeties. And Nick Cross, Rodney Thomas, not sure if those guys are going to cut it in the back end. Really, we really don't. Trevor Denbo had a couple of nice plays last year. I thought he had a couple of flashes as, Rodney Thomas had a good first year, but Rodney Thomas has been dealing with some injury issues. And really Julian Blackmon has had injury issues as well, even though he's a little bit of a different, not really different. Yeah, he's a little bit of a different position. He's kind of like, the sub linebacker, but then you have Ronnie Harrison too. Do like Ronnie Harrison. I think he's a guy that can play up high or down below in the box. I think he's pretty okay at both. He's not great at anything, but I really like Ronnie Harrison. No, yeah, I think it was Ronnie Harrison. I think it's a Thomas. I don't know, but my point being is we need to go after a guy like Justin Simmons, Quandre Diggs. We need a safety back, or maybe even a Justin Evans. I mean, we need someone in that back end that we can count on that can help vet and teach these young guys because, like I said, I'm not really too worried about the defensive line, the front seven. They might that's absolutely the strength of the defense. And that is without question. But is it going to be enough when the opposing team has a really good offensive line, that quarterback gets time to throw? And, because Latu is going to be awesome. I think he's going to be very, very good. Could he pay? We'll see. I think he's going to be more of a run down type of guy. He's like a Jabal Sheard, if you remember Jabal Sheard from a little ways back, a couple years back. You have Samson Ebukam, who had an incredible year last year. He was very good, getting pressure all year long. The numbers don't really show it, but that dude was in the backfield almost not every snap, but every game he was in the backfield constantly, always pressuring the quarterback. While he's getting there, he's giving them that pressure feeling and just getting around that edge and, making a difference. And then the interior, we have Buck, we have Grove. Just hope that one or two, let's just hope that neither of them go down. Because if Buck goes down, we're not really going to have a pass rush and, in the interior. If Grove goes down, awesome one tag, incredible against the run. He makes a big difference in the run game. And, he has had a couple of really nice plays on the in pass rushing too, but that's not his cup of tea. That's not his forte. Buckner really does both. Buckner is just a beast. But both those guys are also getting older as well. So are we going to start to see a dip in either of their play? That's something to take into consideration as well. It's just a part of the game. But both of them, incredible interior guys. Going to be looking for some depth there pretty soon. We need to make sure we have some depth there. But for the future, because they're getting older. Buck has had a couple of injuries his last couple of years. Grove was suspended last year. He wasn't injured, but they're getting older. But that's another topic for another video. Back to the main topic. The Colts need to go out and get a safety. That's my biggest concern. And on top of our safeties being pretty inexperienced and just not really fully there yet, they can't really hold their own. Rodney Thomas has had flashes, but last year he wasn't as good. He did have some good games. He's if it feels like Rodney Thomas is inconsistent. I think Rodney Thomas is more of a depth player. So the Colts really need to look into Chris Ballard, Gus Bradley, really need to look into the free agency market because it's a little worrisome looking at that back end and being, who's going to be the last line of defense. And, you really want a good last line of defense if, the secondary, the boundary corners aren't really experienced. They don't have too much under the belt. And then if one of them get hurt, you're going to be really digging into the depth chart already. And same with safety. Either way, you're going to be digging into that depth chart pretty deep because, Gus Bradley likes his safeties, and so you're going to be digging into that depth chart pretty deep if, a safety or two goes down and really going to have some worries. So really get after a guy like Justin Simmons, Quandre Diggs. I don't really know who else is on the market. Let's actually take a look really fast. Not even going to cut it out because it happens. You have Eddie Jackson. Not a fan of Eddie Jackson. Jamal Adams, no. He's more of a inline guy. He's not good in pass coverage at all. He's really good against, he has some really bright flashes against a run and, kind of in the box side, like where we have Julian Blackmon. Obviously, we don't need that. Quandre Diggs. Micah Hyde is a solid, is a guy that we could look towards. I love Micah Hyde. He is over 33 years old. Tracy Walker, I really do like Tracy Walker from Detroit. I think he could come in and provide a really fun presence. I think he could I think he's more of a cover 2 guy, though. I don't think he's a cover 3 guy. And actually, the same thing with Micah Hyde. Buffalo always ran too high. They really liked their safety look. Him and Jordan Poyer really made that 2 shell incredible. They did a very good job with that. But yeah, they're coming from a 2 shell to 3. Nah, not really what we want. Adrian Phillips from the Patriots, that wouldn't be too bad of a pickup. Possibly go after him. You have Keanu Neal, I think he is more of a box guy. Kareem Jackson, he is more of a box guy, and he is old, 36. Cody Davis, no. I mentioned a guy like Justin Evans earlier. Jonathan Ford, no, not really. Ryan Neal, no. That's really it. Not really the other 2 guys there worth noting. I see, by the way, I looked on Spot Trek. Spot Trek is a great place to look if you're looking for available free agents and stuff like that. But yeah, we really need to go after a guy that's going to take over the back end because cornerbacks are a bit of an issue. We do have a good defensive line, and the defensive line can really do some damage and help these young guys, but is it really going to be enough? You kind of want to balance it out, and, you're going to need a boundary cornerback because when you run into those teams with those better offensive lines or even just a better cornerback, you really got to... Hold on. I don't know what I just said. So when you run to those teams with the better quarterback and a better offensive line, either one of those, it's going to be difficult to apply pressure, and that's going to make it harder. The defensive backs, because they're going to have to be covering longer, and that's not what you want. Because once you run to a really good offensive line that can hold off a really good pass rush, then you kind of need your guys in the secondary to step up. So, yeah, let's go after someone in the back end that can make sure that kind of be that last line of defense and a really good last line of defense just in case. Especially go up against really good quarterbacks. We play C.J. Stroud twice a year. We play Trevor Lawrence twice a year. Trevor Lawrence is all right. I don't see anything special in him, but he's all right. You have, I don't know who the Titans have, Will Levis. I don't really know who else. I mean, Malik Willis, I'm not too worried about them, to be honest with you. But either way, you're in the AFC. So, if you really do think you could contend and, then you go after a safety, that a good last line of defense, but you really don't have the cornerbacks. And, the Colts aren't ready to contend. They got a little ways to go, especially. Yeah, I mean, the Colts have a lot of talent, man. Don't get me wrong. I think this roster is jam-packed with young talent, some really good veterans. I mean, you look at the offense, you have JT, a lot of really good receivers. Donnie Mitchell was a steal. Downs is incredible. Love Josh Downs. Very, very shifty. He's an electric athlete. He knows how to get open. You have Pittman, same thing. He could go up and catch it. And Pittman has gotten so much better at route running. He is a very, very underrated route runner. We'll tell you that. Tight end, I do like Jelani Woods. Could he stay healthy? I want to see the tight ends kind of step up because, I feel like it's time for them to step up. Jelani Woods, I remember, his first year, he had a really nice couple catches. He had the game-winning catch versus the Kansas City Chiefs when Matt Ryan was a quarterback. Started to bring those memories back to your mind. But and then he was hurt all year last year, and I think he was hurt his rookie year as well. So injuries are a little bit of a concern with Jelani Woods. But you do have Will Mallory from Miami. I do like him. Kylan Granson. I think we still have Kylan Granson, right? But we have some solid tight end talent. We have a lot of tight end talent. Offensive line, really like the offensive line. Bernard Ryman is a solid left tackle. Nelson, center. Ryan Kelly's getting up there and consistent. When Ryan Kelly is on and playing well, he is really good. And typically he is a pretty good center. Typically he is pretty consistent. He does have his bad spurts. He does have his injury issues. Right guard is a little bit of the weak link. You do have Will Fries. Although Will Fries was pretty good last year. I will admit it. I really liked how Will Fries did last year at right guard, stepping up. Just never, I was not happy with Denny Pinner when we had Denny Pinner there for a little while, and they're kind of dragging it out, like get rid of him. I like how Will Fries did last year. He was enough. He was serviceable. And Braden Smith, I need to see him to stay a little to stay healthy, and for how much we're paying him, I want to see him to get back to his form. But and you have Jonathan Taylor, you have a couple backs in the backfield, really good guys. But my biggest question is and always has been Anthony Richardson. Opened my eyes. I talked to NFL Scout as we had in the show. He opened my eyes a little bit, but at the same time, I was excited when we first drafted him. But even before that, I'm like, I don't like Anthony Richardson. I don't want him. He's a great athlete, but he's not a quarterback. He's an elite athlete, but he's no quarterback. He should have been drafted in the 4th or 5th round. That was the scout that we had on here, Daniel Kelly. Awesome man, had a phenomenal time. Hopefully we can get him on here pretty soon again, but and get some live stuff going. But yeah, I mean, even when I was so excited, but then once I saw him play, I'm like, yeah, it brought me back to reality, man. Like, look, Anthony Richardson, he's an elite athlete. He's a great playmaker, but he's not a good quarterback, if that makes sense. He's a playmaker in the terms of, I think he's a glorified version of, who's that quarterback in New Orleans that plays tight end? Taysom Hill. He plays running back, does everything. I think Anthony Richardson is a little bit of a glorified version of that. And then on top of that, Anthony Richardson is injury prone already. I mean, he's not injury prone. I wouldn't say that yet, but I mean, first 4 games he was injured. 3 other first 4 games, and he was injured for the rest of the year, his throwing shoulder. And now at the end of minicamp or OTAs, he's already having soreness in the shoulder. Hopefully it's just shoulder fatigue, and hopefully it's not a re-injury or even something new. But if it is something new or re-injury, it's really cause for concern. We really need to see Anthony Richardson, take a gigantic step, being the number 4 overall pick. Is he really going to be the guy that takes the Colts' places? I don't think so. I think as long as Anthony Richardson is quarterback, I think, and I don't think the Colts are going to make the playoffs. I don't think we're going to do anything spectacular as long as Anthony Richardson is quarterback. So, and a lot of people are saying, you had a backup quarterback last year and you're close, but honestly, I think Gardner Minshew is a lot better. Not even gonna say think Gardner Minshew is a lot better in terms of quarterbacking than Anthony Richardson. Now, Minshew doesn't provide the elite athleticism, but he provides some decent quarterbacking, some really good experience, and really good leadership. And Anthony Richardson has really good leadership and really good character. He's good for the locker room, it seems. Some things he does say are a little questionable. Like I think it was very questionable when he said the NFL or college is harder. No, I think it's just something along the lines of like the NFL is easier than college. That kind of why say something like that? That doesn't make a lot of sense. But yeah, man. At the end of the day, kind of went off and went on the rest of the things there. But the Colts do have some really good pieces in the place, and I do think that they could benefit from getting a safety like Justin Simmons, Quandre Diggs, or any of the other guys that we talked about here today, because the back end is very important. You want someone at the last line of defense, especially when you're secondary, especially in the boundary, mainly your boundary is a cause for concern. So Colts, go out there. Chris Ballard, go out there. Someone, Shane Steichen, go push. Gus Bradley, push Ballard to go out there and get some kind of a safety, because the guys we have right now are very inexperienced. They've been flashy, but flashy isn't enough when you're going to be playing it all the time. When you're a starter, you need to be consistent. You need to, you need to get momentum and keep the momentum going. It's NFL. Get stuff together, get it together, or get better, or get lost or get replaced. That's just the nature of the NFL. That's how it is. No one wants to wait around, and I'm not going to wait around and watch it. No, I'm not going to wait around. No one else wants to. Money moves. Money keeps moving. Business never stops, man. So, yeah, it's kind of what I got for you there. Really think they should go after a guy like Justin Simmons, Quandre Diggs. You guys let me know what you think of the situation on the cornerback room and the secondary. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say about it. But hey, that's going to be it for this video. I appreciate you guys stopping by the JDW Sports Talk Show. I'm happy to be back, man. I miss making the videos. I miss talking to you guys. I want to get back on the live soon. I was doing a live every Thursday, kind of stopped that. Life gets in the way, man. I started a company, and I had a, started a company. Just got a lot of stuff going on. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning into the JDW Sports Talk Show. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, put the post notification bell on so you don't miss any future videos. And this is the JDW Sports Talk Show, signing off.